Here we go, Master Impossible. Ooh, exciting. Okay, d4. Maybe we'll get a Nimzo. And we do. Okay, going for the usual. Queen c2. Seems to be the main line. Then he plays e3. Okay, so knight here I can play, I think. Knight up. Pushes, I take. He takes, I take because of the pin. So yeah, I can get my knight out right away. That's always good. And I can get castled. Generally like to wait here until the bishop gets kicked, because that way white kind of wastes a move dealing with the bishop. But he's avoiding that. He could just yeah, keep developing. What do I play here? Well, one way to play is to take now, and if he takes with the queen, then bring my knight up here. That would be a little different. That would be different than the way I've been playing lately. So he takes with the pawn. So I'll go back to my usual style of play then with d6 and e5. Should be fine as well. He didn't play bishop to d3. That's usually where the bishop is when I play this move. And then because I'm threatening to push on here. Yeah, here he can kick my knight. But that's not as active a square for the bishop, so this should be okay too. Maybe I can get my knight to f4. On a good day, I can get my knight to f4. Right now, he just would chop it off, I guess, and it's not all that clear. Maybe after rook here. Well, that is okay, because I can always unpin by playing h6. If he goes back there, then I trade off the bishop. So either takes the knight here, gives up the bishop pair. Well, not the bishop pair. yeah, I've already given up the bishop pair, and he gives up the bishop pair too. Or he retreats and gives up the bishop pair, or he retreats here to h4 and gives up the bishop pair, or he comes back to e3 or d2. It's a decision. If he takes, I'll take with the queen, and then I really can get my knight to f4, so I think that should be good for me. If he retreats, I'll take. He takes, and I've got a good knight on f6, and maybe a tempo move. Maybe I can play something like knight takes pawn. Okay, so he decided to take in the long run. Yeah, maybe retreating the bishop to h4 was actually losing material, because after the trade, the knight would be exposed on h4, unsupported on h4. So let's see, we both have light squared bishops. He has light squared pawns in the center, so in theory my bishop is better than his, but we'll see how that works out in practice. The knight to f4 is an idea. He can play g3 to prevent that. Or he can allow it and then he can decide to trade that off later. And if I want to, get something going here, that's his idea. He retreats the bishop, and then he's going to play g3. That's not bad. So can I strike immediately? I can play the check. I don't know if it does much good, right? Knight to h3, a check. He takes, I take his knight. So that works. Knight takes g2 doesn't work because he can take with the bishop and defend the knight. And it's probably okay. Although I do have ideas of... no, I guess not. I was thinking maybe I could pin the bishop and bring my bishop out. But so after I play knight h3 check, he plays king to h1. And then I grab the pawn. Yeah, I guess knight h3 check is actually good. This funny little arrangement. Oh, no, I can't take the pawn. More hallucinations. No, I can't take the pawn. His queen's defending it. His rook is not defending it, and his bishop is not defending it, and the king is kicked away and is not defending it, but the queen is still defending it. Yeah, so after he moves his king, do I have anything better than just going back? Well, I don't have to move right away. He still can't take because I'll take the knight. I got my bishop activated. So what is going on here? So pawn takes knight, bishop takes knight, check. Looks good for me. He can interpose with the bishop. But I don't know, with those messed up pawns, it might be good for something. Okay, so he defends the knight. And the knight's not pinned or anything, so I can just... I still don't have to take my knight back, right? If he takes my knight, I can still take his knight with check. Let's see, if I play knight to g5, it can trade. I can take with the queen. I'm worried that if I retreat, he just kicks my bishop away and he's activated his rook, and I haven't gotten anything out of this. Knight f4, h3. The sacrifice on h3 doesn't look any good. I could take first, but he takes with the rook. Yeah, I think I have to unwind. Maybe I'll unwind this way, rather than just meekly coming back to f4. Probably I want to get my queen to get my queen off the g file anyway. I realized, so queen here, rook g3 might be a problem. Well, I can unpin queen here, rook g3, queen here to f4 or something. I want to get my queen off that G file so I can play, off the F file, so I can play F5 and open up the F file for my rook. That's my plan. So rook G3, queen, the queen could go to H4. And he plays H3, I retreat the bishop. The pawn is momentarily pinned, actually. So what would happen if I were to play F5 here? He unpins. I push forward to attack his rook. He takes my bishop and hits my queen, so I don't have time to take his rook. Okay. Well, anyway, this pawn is here, so he can't play rook H3 to harass my queen. He can play bishop there. Oops. He can play bishop there, yeah. That is true. Well, now my queen has a route back into my camp. Still want to get in F5. And my bishop is covering the G4 square, so he can't play rook G4. Or if he does, I can trade it at least. What else can he do? He could move the rook to the side, maybe threaten to push his g-pawn forward. I would probably just bring my other rook over, or try and maneuver the queen into a better position. It's running a bit low on time. I would move a little faster here too, or on move 21. I've used up about half my time, which I think is about right. About a good rate of use for time. Yeah, he just went there. I got to take, I think. Well, he has to take with the rook. There's not much argument there. I get my queen back to H5, so I'm looking at the F5 square. Again, I want to play pawn to F5. He's got the queen behind his pawn, so that's why. Gotta be have sufficient force here to allow that. Yeah, now he brings the other rook in. Here, let's get that F5 push going. Yeah, now do I want to take with the queen and go for the endgame? I don't think so. I think I want to keep the queen on. Just bring the other rook over. Bring the queen down. I do have to worry about this pawn in some cases because of the pin on the G pawn. Worry about the H pawn. Well, he's either going to make a lot of moves within the increment. I mean, there's a 4-second increment, or else he's going to lose on time. There's the queen coming over. Okay, so he's setting up a neat little take with check when the queen is defended though, so actually it doesn't work. Rook takes, king takes. He's got the fork. So let's step out of that. Rook takes, king takes, pawn here, fork. It's not entirely clear, right? It's yeah, it's a rook and a pawn for the queen. That's good for white. Okay, so now here. And now he's moving faster. Okay, so I can take that or not. I take, he takes. I take, he takes. I take, it's a rook for a queen. I have to take with the pawn. If I take with the pawn and he takes back with the rook, then I can take. He takes with the rook, then I can take. So I can take with the pawn here, unless he's got some trick. Yeah, it looks like he's looking to set up some kind of tactic here, but I don't see it. Let's push on through. So, he's got, no, he's just got 2 pieces defending it, rook and queen, and I've got 3 pieces attacking it. So rook takes, queen takes. Unless he can move this rook with check or do something like that. Oh, when queen takes, it's check. So it looks like I'm breaking through here, and he's out on time. Anyway, interesting game. He took his time, but seemed to play pretty well. So we'll check that out in the postmortem, and I will see you guys later. Bye.